Welcome to Meanie Roo Podcast with your host, Kate Morgan. Hi, everybody. You get to see me. This is what I look like. Welcome to Meanie Roo Podcast. I'm so thankful and grateful to be back doing these episodes. I have been working. I take contract jobs here and there, but when I get time off, I like to, do other projects. And one of my favorite things is trying to figure things out. I said last year that I would do Meanie Roo Podcast, and I did the book club with my good friend Kim Theoff, who we still have, 2 chapters left on that book, but The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. If you have not read this book, I behoove you to get this book. We also did a whole series and went through each chapter and read it and talked about it on Meanie Roo Podcast. If you'd like to catch up on those episodes, please do so in the link below. But today's show is about books. I'm going to do a 12 series about certain books that I think that may be in your best interest, so you could kind of know what's going on in the world right now. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first book that I think would really help you understand who the New World Order is, what the New World Order is, and how to best ease into understanding what it is. And this book came out in 1989. If I remember correctly. Let's see. Yes, it came out in 1989, and then it was re-released in 2000. So this book is called The New World Order by Ralph Epperson, and I'm going to read you the back and give you a little bit of background about this book. The Great Seal of the United States, with the pyramid and eagle, a Latin phrase ex-nay, has been reproduced in 2 circles on the back of every American dollar bill, but few in America know what these symbols mean. The key to understanding the meaning behind these symbols is found in the translation of the Latin phrase Nunc corporis novus ordem secularum, announcing the birth of the New World Order, found in what is known as the reverse side of the Great Seal. Historian and author Ralph Epperson has spent many years researching the history of the Great Seal and has discovered that those who designed the 2 circles committed America to what has been called a secret destiny. This future destiny is so unpleasant that those who wanted the changes it entails had to conceal that truth in symbols. This book, The New World Order, is the ample documented explanation of what those symbols mean. The author is making his research available to American people so they may know just what their future is, so they can take corrective action. So, New World Order has been around for a very, very long time, and they've actually combined themselves with something that's called a humanist. And so in chapter 26 in this book, they talk about what a humanist is. And so let me just give you a brief definition. This religion even has a dictionary definition. I bet you didn't know that. Most people, they don't think of as a humanist as being a religion. It's usually, they coincide with Buddhism or Christianity or a Catholic. Not realizing you can't be a humanist and also be, a Christian or a Catholic or anything like that because of this reason. Humanist, a modern, non-idealistic, rationalist movement that holds that man is capable of self-fulfillment, ethical contact without recourse to supernaturalism. So humanists think that Christianity is like supernatural, magic, hocus pocus type stuff, right? And they think that, praying to a God, believing in Jesus Christ, a savior, they think that they're their own savior and that they're like demigods, basically, and that they need to have something called secular humanism, which is a new world order that men are in charge of. And they do not believe in God, no God. They basically believe that there's only one life, there is no heaven, no hell, and they truly think that they are in charge of this world. It's pretty scary. They believe in depopulation. They believe in so many things. It's insane, basically. And I don't see because they try to church it up, funny, and make you think that they're trying to do the betterment for humanity. Because you get humanity and humanist mixed up a lot. They're totally two different things. Humanity, is humans, is human beings, and very, very different than a humanist. Because in humanity, you can believe in a lot of different things, but you're still a human, right? And you believe in trying to take care, or not everybody believes that, but it's a whole different thing. But humanists, they believe basically that they're demigods, in a nutshell, if you really want to think about it. I would go look that up. It's pretty scary because Anthony Fauci is a humanist. I believe Bill Gates is as well. And, Jimmy Carter was. And so there are all these individuals that are something that really makes you think, how is that possible? Like, for real. And so I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. And that was something I was trying to figure out, because when I was first reading the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. book, The Real Anthony Fauci, I found that out about him. And I was like, well, what is a humanist? Because I didn't know they didn't believe in God. I was not aware of that. I did not believe that. I didn't know that humanists believe in, boosting, humans, like praising them, giving them a lot of fortune, all these things. And when you are religious, you believe in a higher power. You believe in God, and you believe in worshiping God and doing right by Him and always living in the path, hopefully, of righteousness with Him. Well, the humanists, they only believe in what their gut tells them. They only believe in, putting up, and praising, human, efforts, not this wonderful being of earth, and that it's, God in earth. It's interesting, they don't even believe that God made us. They believe that it's just evolution. It's thousands and thousands of years of evolution. How? What did we mate with that got us here? I would like to know. Seriously. So it's scary, but at the same time, read, understand what it is, because when people bring these things up in communication, you'll actually have an opinion or an understanding, maybe even an educated understanding, to actually impart knowledge to other people. And you'll have less fear. You'll have less anger. You'll be able to understand the conversations and what people are and where they're coming from. And you're not judging a book by its cover because you're reading it. So I recommend you get this book. I will put a link down below for you to read that, and I will be talking about the next book coming up on my next episode. So I hope you enjoy this, and hopefully I'll get better at being back on camera. I haven't been on camera in a really long time, and all the crazy stuff that's going on. There's so much distractions going on right now, but still the biggest thing out there is probably the train derailment and burning of vinyl chloride, and seeing what that is going to do. So the last time we had an explosion of vinyl chloride was like in 1989. I was doing some research on this, and it destroyed the town. The town is still devastated to this day. It's somewhere in Illinois. And so my question is, burning it, was that the right idea? Why did the EPA decide to do that? I don't understand that logic. And I think we're all trying to wait to find that out ourselves. So that's still the biggest thing in the news right now, but I'm trying to set a foundation of books so that people can actually understand, what the WEF is, which is the World Economic Forum. They are very, very real. Why you need to be paying attention to what Bill Gates is doing, and because he's one of the biggest funders of the WHO. And he always tells you 6 months to a year before something's going to happen. They always do some big exercise, kind of like we used to do in the military. We had to do all these exercises before we'd go into theater or something like that before it would happen. And I feel like he's doing the same thing. And because you have to remember, William H. Gates is Bill Gates' dad, and he was the lawyer to Planned Parenthood. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing. You just have to follow the money and the bodies and be willing to take your emotion out of it and just follow the numbers. Numbers are absolutely amazing when you start being able to understand what they mean, not just in the sense of money, but in the sense of old world numbers. Understanding why they're so important and they mean something. Do you think Taylor Swift uses the number 13 for no reason? It means rebellion in the Bible, and it was also Lucifer's number. But people don't want to research that. Symbolism is still one of the biggest languages out there. but yet we're not taught it. Because if you were taught symbolism, you would understand everything that was going on in the world. I had dinner with my parents the other night. It was my dad's birthday. He's 72, I think. Anyway, they always are telling me that everything is a conspiracy. And I laughed and I was like, it is, but nothing is a coincidence. Nothing. It's not. And that's something just when your third eye opens and you do the work, you meditate, you eat healthy, you work on yourself, and you face those demons. It's interesting how clear you are, and things don't rattle you as they used to, but now you can see clearly. It's interesting, the playbook that's happening out there right now, and how they just keep replaying a lot of these, from the vaccines, to 5G, to all these things that are happening. And you can go on PubMed.gov and you can find so much of this information. It is insane what it's out there on DARPA, on PubMed.gov, on patent sites, on clinicaltrials.gov. You can see so many things happening, but a lot of people don't know where to look, or don't even know what to look for, or know what's even happening. And I think that's the coolest thing right now that I have, that I enjoy, is the military really taught me how to research. And then I got sent to college, and then they taught me how to research even more. And so I get like one little thread, and I know how to go and keywords to put in, and not use Google, because Google completely will blacklist you on things, or only give you like dead pages and stuff like that. But you got to remember, you have certain people that, are in control of Google. Bill Gates has, bought tremendously into it, the Bethesda group that's in one of their portfolios. You have to remember that there's this big group of people that are controlling quite a bit of the world. And once you wrap your mind around that, it becomes a lot easier, and you start understanding why things are happening. And it's not always what you think. And that was the crazy thing when I've been reading and researching, and I get invited to some very interesting meetings, and get to sit and listen to people talking who are doing the research, who have the credentials and the background and the security clearances and all this stuff, and they're in the thick of it, and they are laying down some really hard facts. And the thing I've noticed the most when people lay down really hard facts is that when the facts are really, really the facts, they go after the person. They'll start talking about like the person's a charlatan, the person is bad, the person is this, the person is that. But they never will confront the facts that they talked about. They never will combat that information. They will sidestep that and start degrading the individual and start trying to drag out skeletons out of that person's closet. But they won't touch on what he talked about. I've noticed that a lot. They would rather discredit you, politically assassinate you, bankrupt you, and then if you still aren't quiet, then they somehow Clinton you. So it's one of those things, like, you want to help the world, you really do, but there's just so many factors out there that when are we all gonna like talk about it? And it's not a conspiracy theory. I mean, the whole reason a conspiracy theory was even created is because the CIA did not want you to question the John F. Kennedy assassination, and look how that ended up. Oops. Thank you for giving us a term that now we can prove, right, is now a term of endearment, because those people were right. And I have to thank them. All those people who stood up and critically thought and said, that just doesn't make sense. And not to allow to be gaslighted, to be, the Jedi mind trick. That's not what you see here. This is not what you are hearing. This is not what you're seeing. What they try to do on TV, like, oh, look, it's over here. What's going on over here? I thank you, conspiracy theorists and tinfoil hat wearers and the black sheeps of the family. I thank you for holding the fort down and waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. You saved a lot of the population over the last couple of years. Not getting this poke, not getting a lot of things, not taking the experimental medications a lot of these pharmaceutical companies are trying to push down their throat, and bringing back natural path and holistic ways to heal ourselves. They're trying to destroy so many things right now because they're trying to push us into things like 15-minute cities, electric cars. They're trying to stop you from being able to be free. Freedom is at risk more than you can ever imagine. And this is not just, oh, you're being Chicken Little, sky is falling. Really? Didn't you hear something about them trying to take gas stoves, electric cars? They're trying to get everybody in electric cars. Did you not know that in this last bill that got passed, there's a kill switch in electric cars now? But it's for burglars. Okay. I'm trying to get people to understand, how did you live through the last 3 years and still trust the government? How? Those are questions that I am trying to ask people. And I think that they're at the point in their lives where they're either too old or too brainwashed, or they just can't wrap their mind around it for some reason. That they think that the government still wants to help them, even though they force so many crazy mandates. Like even at the VA, you still have to wear a mask. Why? Because it's a muzzle. We know why. Because they know veterans are going to pop off and they don't want to deal with it. You know, it has nothing to do with our safety, because if that's the case, we'll all be wearing, gas masks with charcoal, canisters, or they all be giving out, adequate masks to wear, that, N95 mask, and be telling people to only be wearing these for the maximum amount of like 4 hours and then, throwing them away. But that's not really what it is, because safety is just a Trojan horse, which you guys all should know that. If you guys read the Odyssey growing up, I don't even know if they're still forcing, kids to read the Odyssey, but I read it growing up, and I must say that's still a big thing in my head, is them building this gorgeous Trojan horse, beautiful, glistening, made out of wood, and it's just beautiful. And then all the the opposite warring tribe hid inside of it, and they brought it in during the feast, and then everybody was drunk and happy and got laid and ate, and then they all fell asleep, and then when they were all asleep, they climbed out of this Trojan horse. And they slaughtered all of them. Yep. And that's what I felt like happened in the last 3 years. And the ones that survived weren't at the feast. They were out researching and doing other things, it seems like. So, if anything you take from this podcast, do your own research. Stop believing what the government tells you. Some of the key words I will leave with you is the government comes to you and says, we're from the government, we're here to help. Get the fuck out of there. Weird shit's about to hit the fan. Number 2, if you ever hear the word sustainability, or you ever heard the word green, it's all bullshit. I'll tell you that right now. Because they have an agenda. They have a bigger agenda than saving the planet. They are trying to rule the planet into a certain way that they can control and monopolize not only the money, but the gold and the silver and the resources. Nothing's changed. It's just a different kind of war that we're playing right now. Just most people have been trained to believe that war is like World War II or in the trenches and stuff like that. No, we are more far advanced than that now as a species. The war that you are thinking of does not exist anymore. The war that we are now in is information war. We are in the biggest information war that you've ever seen. It is insane what's going on. We are also in the war of sovereignty, keeping our own sovereignty in our own home country. That is a big one that people are not understanding. They really need to wake up. People think that Washington, D.C. is part of the United States. We pay rent to the Vatican and the District of Columbia. Go look that up. It's pretty interesting, actually, when you go and research some of that. It makes you really just wonder, did we win our independence, from these individuals? So there's so much going on in the world, and a lot of people don't want to know about it, and then they get mad that they can get taught it in school. And then you have to remember, the reason why you didn't get taught it at school is who decided to fund and found the public school system was Rockefeller. And why did he do that? It's because he needed workers. So he was only going to give them exactly what they need in order to get out in the world and work. And then it was up to you, because it used to be the mother was the one that would educate the family, the children, everything like that. That's why they just have big libraries in the houses and stuff like that. And then Carnegie and Rockefeller got together and decided that if they actually, two things. One, Rockefeller founded the public school system, and he decided the curriculums that were going to be met, and he was going to give grants to. Two, he also helped the pharmaceutical companies and giving monies to those. He also had people, I forget the guy's name, he went around to all the schools that were actually prescribing medications, and I forget the guy's name right now. Oh, it's slipping my mind. He was with Rockefeller, and he went around to all the universities that were actually using pharmaceutical medications. And once they found that out, Rockefeller started funding all of those schools, because he was part of the pharmaceutical companies. They were using his oil and all sorts of things. The petroleum jelly, And then he partnered up with Andrew Carnegie, because Carnegie Hall can decide what type of music people listen to and how they can influence their mood because of vibrational energy. They understood the electromagnetic field and the pulse and how they could get people to do certain things. And then number two, libraries. If you control the information, you control the masses. Seriously. And that is the truth. Whoever controls the information controls society. And so they just put in the libraries what certain people needed to know. And then other people, if you decided to go past that, then you could. But most people didn't. They would only go from what was in there and not go out and do their own, because they had this false security that everything that they were getting was coming for a positive reason, right? Not realizing that these individuals have been trying to control us for a very long time. And that's why you always have to go outside of the box to go and read other things so that you can actually know what's going on, right? And what I always find so interesting is, you have all these, presidents that have all these presidential libraries. They're shrines, people. They're shrines. They're like temples. Think about it. All the information from all these people, they're like Egyptian shrines. It's crazy. It really is, if you really think about it. And the more you start getting to understand that majority of every president has been a Freemason, even our current ones. And if you start understanding, that's why women cannot be president, because women can't be Freemasons. They can be the sister to that, but they can't, because that's a whole other thing. Go look it up. But there is so much information out there that it is so hard sometimes to wrap your mind around all of it so quickly, so fast, because all these generational families that are in power, they have passed it down, and they haven't had to sift through all the bullshit because they've gotten the real information. Whereas we, as peasants, we have to sift through all this information to really understand what's going on. So I want you to start with this first book, and then I will be going through a bunch of other books that I think would be the best interest for you to understand what's going on in the world. And the book again is The New World Order by Ralph Epperson. And the more you know, the farther you will grow and you will go. And that is half the battle. Seriously, the more you actually know what's going on, the less angry you get, the less emotional you are, and the less emotional decisions that you make, because now they're educated decisions. You now hold the power. Knowledge is power. And they want to take that from us. And we have to stand up, and we have to continue to keep spreading, be like Jesus Christ. Spread the information. He was truly understood not only electromagnetic energy, but he had a way to be with people and impart knowledge to help them, to make them better. It may not have always been the way that they wanted it to, but it made them better. And so that's why we are so thankful for Jesus Christ and everything that we do, especially with the war that's happening. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and look forward to more of Meanie Roo Podcast. And I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, which is Vitify. Absolutely love this product. It is a Bio-MS vitamin D and curcumin, which curcumin comes from the turmeric plant. It is the root, and it is one of the best anti-inflammatory supplements that I have ever taken in my life. You don't have to use pepper with it because of the technology. It highly absorbs into the gut and gets into your body. I was off of it for, I think last year I tried to stay off of it for 3 weeks one time, just to see is it a placebo? Is it really working? And let me just tell you, my knee and my hips and my stomach were just like, what is wrong with you, woman? Why are we off of this? So I got right back on it, and I put it in my tea or my coffee in the morning, just really depending on what it is that I am taking. And I absolutely, or what I'm drinking in the morning. And I've actually been able to cut out a bunch of other supplements that I was taking, because this is actually, helping with that. And the less supplements I take, the better. I'm a big protein eater. I love, meat. I eat a lot of meat, and it really helps with my body. I've noticed lower inflammation with it, and I've had my skin's better, my body's better. And so when you add the Vitify to it, I feel like it's a whole other thing for me. And my dad's on it. He had a cancer scare at the beginning of the year, and the doctor was telling him that, you might have to do chemo, you might have to do all these other things, and it was pretty scary. And me, I want him to go the holistic route because that's just me. And he had gotten on the Vitify about 6 months earlier because of his hip, and it was really helping him out because my dad loves to ride his motorcycle, and so the vibration sometimes can be a little much. And then he doubled up on this, and he was able to get the cancer cut out, and they said that whatever he was doing, continuing to do it because it was killing the cancer cells. What? That's a really good testimony. So now he takes it 2 times a day and he doubles up on it. And so I'm so fortunate that we were able to find something that, gives us hope and both benefits us in so many ways. And I'm truly thankful for that. So if you want more information about Vitify and, high vitamin D with curcumin, you can go to my website, and if you go down to the bottom, you'll see a photo. Click on it, and it will take you right to that Vitify site. And then it has a bunch of information, some testimonials, more information about it. Just take a look at it. If you have any questions, you can also send me an email, and I would absolutely love to talk with you about it. So thank you so much for listening to Meanie Roo Podcast. And if you would like to start your own podcast, you can go to Buzzsprout, who I absolutely love. I have watched their videos. They help me understand how to do my podcast. And it is a great platform where you can actually upload this video, and then you can, once you go and you set up, your website and all your other channels, it'll automatically upload to all the other ones. So you're not having to spend time uploading on each individual platform. It is truly an amazing platform, and it's been a game changer for me and my podcast experience. So I really hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I really look forward to connecting with you guys more and bringing you more of these books I absolutely love to read and educate as many people as I possibly can while I'm still on this wonderful earth. Bye guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay free, stay grounded.